What's up YouTube, Josh of All Trades here, and I just finished up episode 1 of the new HBO series, Westworld. If you haven't watched any of my reviews before, let me give you fair warning now. I am going to include some spoilers in this. I'm just going to talk freely about the episode, and whatever comes out, comes out. If you haven't watched the episode yet, go back and check out episode 1 of Westworld, and then come back to my video and get my thoughts on it from there. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Westworld, episode 1, the original. Right off the bat, one of the first things that you're going to notice about this series is it's just a blast to watch. Both the music and the imagery are amazing. In the opening credit montage, we have some orchestrated music played over some imagery of like these robots being 3D printed together, and that's very nice. And then also later in the episode, we had like a Western cover of Paint It Black being played like over this gunfight scene. And that scene, especially the juxtaposition of an old-timey rendition of, music that we know very well being played over this chaotic scene was really nice, and that worked really well for me. The imagery is just fantastic. If you've ever played this game, Red Dead Redemption, this feels like a lot of Western movies, and Westworld feels like a Western. It feels like what you think the genre should feel like, outside Laboratory, of course. So aesthetically, I think this show absolutely delivers. It's on par with HBO shows and really exceeds our expectations as far as what we go into the show hoping for. The acting in the show is also really good. I think starring Evan Rachel Wood as Dolores, her performance really communicates both the emotional aspect that these people have in Westworld, as well as the serenity that's possible in the simple Western lifestyle. Ed Harris was menacing. Anthony Hopkins was wise. Anthony Hopkins, though, it seems like he's going to be the catalyst for action in the series. The plot in tonight's episode was largely driven by Anthony Hopkins, or Dr. Ford, and the updates that he made to these robots, or hosts as the terminology may be. And now these robots are able to, on some level, access memories, which is really problematic when you're harassed and beaten up and raped and killed and objectified by the park's guests on a daily basis. I'm assuming that the narrative here is going to become a little bit more fluid as we go on because, honestly, I'm getting a little bit of a Groundhog vibe just with these images of like Dolores waking up every day in the same position and saying hi to her dad, doing the same things over and over. And while that's interesting for episode 1, I don't think it's the end game that the producers are going for here, so I think we're going to see that change in future episodes. My only grievance so far is that it's a little difficult to follow all of the storylines that are going on, which of course is typical of especially a series premiere, and I can tell there's intentionally some ambiguity written in, but I'm just saying that I could have better understood this episode if the exposition had been slightly better. For contrast, in the 1973 film Westworld, there's a scene very close to the beginning where one of the guests tells the others that, hey, the guns have a sensor built in so that we can shoot the robots, but they can't shoot anything human. And it really sets some expectations, even inside of this fantasy world, for what's going on. And we didn't get the same level of explanation in at least episode 1 of the series. It leaves a lot of questions, like, sure, the robots can hurt each other. The guests can hurt the robots, but can guests hurt each other with the guns? Maybe, I don't know, could have explained it a little bit better, but I'm sure we're going to get some more closure as we go forward with questions like these. Also, I'm kind of perplexed right now as to who exactly is a human and who is a robot, which, having the audience kind of confused was a great technique for introducing the Teddy and Dolores story and shattering our expectations that these were people and now they're actually robots. But at some point, I need to determine who's robots and who's people, because right now I don't really know the scope of Westworld. I don't know if there's 2 humans to 100 robots or what's really going on there. Like, I know there's at least 2 people because there is the couple where the guy broke up the gunfight. But me personally, I just need a better idea of what's going on, and I think, again, it is episode 1. At some point we will get there. We're just kind of early in it, and I actually have a feeling in my gut that we'll probably get to know at least one of the park's guests who's a frequent there relatively well in the future at some point. So where are we going with this series? I think first off, we need to talk about Ed Harris's character, the guy in all black that's walking around doing menacing things. I think it's possible, but unlikely, that Ed Harris's character is actually a robot who's trying to do some examination of his own. We do know that he's been introduced to the park at least 30 years ago and has been interacting with it ever since. But I think it's probably more likely that he is an employee of another company some sort of corporation that would somehow benefit from Westworld's demise, and he's trying to do that. With corporate personhood and all, do you say it's a corporation that would benefit or a corporation who would benefit? Secondly, going forward, I think we're also going to go deeper into the drama surrounding Dr. Ford with Bernard Lowe. I feel like Dr. Ford is a guy who spent a little too much time around the robots. And it's completely legitimate, like after years of building robots and developing their code and creating them, I think his thinking's been kind of warped. And with that mistake in the latest update that's causing some errors, I think it was Dr. Ford intentionally trying to bring these robots closer to self-awareness. Early in the episode, he already commented that he thinks that humans have come as far as they can, that with medical advances, pretty much all we need to do is bring people back to life. In view of his own mortality and his legacy, Dr. Ford is trying to start the next big technological revolution here. And the final huge moment of the episode was the smoking gun at the very end, when Dolores swallowed that fly on her cheek, and now that she is able to harm a living thing, it's only a matter of time until one of the robots harms a human being. And that will be a huge deal for the guests in the park, but it's also going to be a big corporate event. So I think we're going to experience that from the managerial level, and we're going to get to know the staff of the park very well. So all in all, my thoughts on Westworld, I think it's visually stunning to watch. I think it's kind of graphic, and I think it's a good time. While it was kind of confusing to me in some parts, I really enjoyed watching Westworld episode 1, so I'm definitely going to keep watching the show going forward. I'll always be posting my review afterwards. I'll let y'all know what I think about it. So if you enjoyed my video, hit me with a thumbs up. Tell me in the comments below if you like the show, if you're going to be watching it, and what you think about what I said. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button to Josh of All Trades so you'll get updates for my new videos. So I will see y'all next week. Take care. I'll see you then. Bye, y'all.